Welcome back. Good morning to the Green Means Go channel. It's your host, me. It's Wednesday, and we're back to talk about some home runs. I had a question yesterday from someone who just stopped by for the first time and said, are you tracking your bets? So I just want to make the announcement that we did lose about 11 units officially on the record, and about a week, 2 weeks ago, we stopped giving out official plays because it became something that was clearly a losing effort, a frustrating effort, and I'm having more fun just going with leans and making some small wagers on my own without having the pressure of the world on my shoulders. So while I do encourage everyone to track bets and to be mindful of their unit sizes, I in this series did that for a while, but now it's purely recreational. I'm not good at this. I'm not sharp at this, and we're gonna keep pushing. We're gonna keep pushing for entertainment purposes only. Josh Naylor, Brandon Lau, Nathan Lukes, Addison Barger, and Max Kepler. I guess our best spot was that Toronto game in Colorado. We had Lukes and Barger both for that game. They both hit. Naylor always hits on Dinger Tuesday, right? It was Tuesday yesterday. Of course, Josh Naylor went, right? He was due for a Tuesday. Mikey, who I pronounced Mickey D's yesterday. I think it was a little bit of a Freudian slip there. I love a McGriddle in the morning. Man, I could go for a McGriddle right now. Or that big breakfast isn't bad either. Good deal. Good deal on the wallet. Good deal on the stomach. He said Varsho. I think Varsho hit 2 last night, so good for him with the guest pick. Walker did not, and Ohtani, he's still due. He is still due. If you want to sign up for Novig, do it. Here we go. I'm going to let you know right now. I'm not trying to be negative. I'm not trying to be pessimistic. I'm not trying to be anything that is other than just honest and transparent with you guys. Today's slate and what has been this week's slate is bad. At least from a weather perspective and a pitching perspective, there is just not a lot of optimism. It doesn't mean home runs aren't going to be hit. It just means that when I look at the data and look at the things that I look at or have looked at this year, I don't see anything in this slate, by and large, that gets me too wound up for the day. We start with the game in Pittsburgh. It's 10-mile-an-hour wind blowing in with crazy high pressure. I don't think the ball's flying. I'm not even looking. I don't, if you know that a restaurant has health code violations, there has been rumors of mice, not only in the kitchen, but in the dining area. Would you look at the menu? Would you say, I'm kind of curious. Do they have a triple cheeseburger? What are their fries like? They got garlic aioli fries. You're not looking at the menu. There's mice there, and there's mice in Pittsburgh. I'm out. Game in Philadelphia doesn't look good for Philadelphia bats. It doesn't look great overall for a park that typically plays well. Adley Rutschman, 8-1, is the only guy that I like in a matchup perspective, and his price is good. Game in New York, we'll go with Juan Soto over on BetMGM. I can't probably get down more than a few bucks on BetMGM, but that's where the best price is. I wouldn't play this much below that number of 400. I don't love it. In the Cleveland perspective, David Peterson's pitching for the Mets. Nobody matches up well. If you want to take anybody, I guess go with Ramirez. He's about the only guy that can hit anybody, but for me, it's a pass. Game in Detroit. Again, big park, wind blowing in, high pressure. That is the consensus today. However, I think there are some guys that can overcome this. These are just standalone guys. Well, I don't think there's a ton of home runs in this game. Here were guys that matched up well. Matt Wallner, Kerry Carpenter, and Colt Keith. Game in Chicago, we're wasting a perfect August opportunity. August in Chicago should yield itself to home run after home run in this small park, and the wind has just been relentlessly blowing in. Yes, we got a few last night. I believe Spencer Steer and maybe somebody else, maybe Tyler Stevenson, maybe he was 2 days ago. It's just not been overall. Look at the last week when they've played Baltimore and now Cincinnati. They're not hitting home runs. This ball is not flying. It's high pressure. It's high wind. With that being said, Carson Kelly is the only guy that I would look at for that one. We start to lighten up a little bit. There's some optimism here on this later half of the slate. Games do start early today, so these are the mid-afternoon games. Jazz Chisholm, Cody Bellinger. If you like chalk, Aaron Judge and Stanton also look good against Jack Leader today, so those would be my directions. For Texas, they are facing Carlos Rodon. Overall, not a great matchup. Marcus Semien could have some success, 575. Game in Colorado, one of the better spots, as it would be assumed because of the park. But even Colorado has high pressure today. Colorado never has high pressure, and they have high pressure today. We'll see how the ball flies. Hopefully the altitude can kind of cancel that out. Davis Schneider, holy cow, 350. I was loving his matchup. And I was hoping you could get him over 500. You can't. Ty France, though, probably my favorite name that I've said so far on this video. Ty France, 630, great price, great matchup. Mickey Moniak for the Rockies only guy, but Vlad, Bo Bichette, Alejandro Kirk, and Ernie Clement all look good as well. I think it could be another great day for Toronto, one of the hotter teams right now. They've been rolling, and I expect them to continue to roll today. Game in LA, Yandy Diaz, Junior Caminero, Joe Adell, and Nolan Shonawell. Another mediocre spot, winds blowing out. It's not great, it's not horrible, but for the slate today, it's at the top of the list, nearly at the top. So those would be my leans there. Game in LA, we got Ohtani pitching. I put a question mark because who knows how many innings he'll be out there. I would imagine under 3. So I just don't have enough information to go with anybody for the Cardinals. I'm just laying off for LA, though, against Matthew. Is it Matthew? It's Matthew Liberatore. Mookie Betts, Will Smith. But again, I think anybody is in play here. Teoscar Hernandez, Andy Pajes. Just take your pick. I think it's a good spot for LA. Game in Miami, Jesus Sanchez. We're riding the revenge game still. Jazz Chisholm got it done in the last matchup. This might be the last matchup of the series, so maybe today he's due. Maybe you go with Sanchez and France, do a little two-leg parlay action. See what happens. Kyle Stowers, 475, really good price for Kyle Stowers. And Jacob Marcy hit one last night. Who? I don't know the guy. I don't know where he's from. I don't know how much time he spent in the minors. I didn't do the research. Look him up if you want, but he hit one last night in 10-1. He's been swinging the bat well. His matchup looks good from a Ballpark Pal perspective. Do your own research. Dive a little deeper, but we'll see what happens. If you want to join the club, if you want to join not only the Discord, the Patreon, but the Fantasy Football League where there will be prizes, you can do so for $10 a month. Just an idea. Game in Washington. Wins football. Wins football. That's how I felt making this morning. I'm like, good grief, guys. Like, August should be prime weather, prime time. Batters warmed up, batters seeing the ball. Playoffs are on the horizon. We're getting into our peak form. It's 80 degrees. It's high humidity. It's low pressure. 30, 40 home runs a day. Not the case. Nicholas Kurtz, Tyler Soderstrom's are my leans. Game in Boston and game in Atlanta, I'm just passing. Like, I looked, and I was like, do I force? Like, if I forced anything for Kansas City, it would have been Bobby Witt and Salvador Perez. Nobody on Boston looked good except maybe Alex Bregman. Game in Milwaukee, like Isaac Collins kind of looked good. Atlanta, Profar, Olsen, maybe. Albies, maybe, but they're facing a lefty, and so that made me a little nervous. Holy smokes, guys. Brutal slate today. Game in Arizona, Fernando Tatis, good matchup, good price, $475. I like him at this indoor stadium. Ketel Marte, $350. Little low. We've been getting him over 4-1, but his matchup, it's optimistic. Tyler Locklear came over from Seattle in that trade for Suarez and maybe, just Suarez. It wasn't for Naylor, but it was for Suarez. Hit one this series, maybe 2 days ago or yesterday, 8-1. Looks good. Good matchup as well. So, another optimistic spot. If I had to play anybody today, it would probably be a Locklear, Marte. Who else did I say? Ty France. Probably not even Jesus Sanchez. What are we saying? He's not going to hit. Last game of the night, game in Seattle. It's hard to pick these Seattle players. You got Cal Raleigh, Eugenio Suarez, Randy Arozarena, Julio Rodriguez. Dominic Canzone hit one last night. I'm going with Josh Naylor and Polanco. Those are the two guys that I am choosing to endorse as my leans. Feel free to pick around. It's one of the better spots today is the Seattle Mariners. So good luck if you choose to tail any of these. And again, I'm not trying to be pessimistic, guys. I'm trying to be honest. I'm trying to, give you a realistic expectation for how I think this slate will go. Could be wrong, and I'd love it if I'm wrong. I'd love for you to say you're going to be wrong. I'd love you to bet who you want to bet, and I'd love you to win big. But I just would say, if you're feeling like kind of down, you kind of been losing, maybe take a day off. Maybe make one little bet today. Give you something to kind of get the itch, but don't go crazy. All right? More videos coming out soon. I got my list here. I just I get in these moments where my head starts scrambling. I feel like I got a lot I could make a video about, talk about, both from this perspective and then I got to get my gutter guards on and I got to just do stuff around here. So it's not a complaint because I could have started school today. And maybe that's why I need to take a second, take a breath and reflect and say, For 6 years, I was miserable. I had the worst stomach ache of my life for 6 straight years on this day. And I'm getting texts from my friends who I still keep up with that are teachers, and they're talking about what's going on today. It's 75 degrees in the building. It's just, it's first day, just a lot of anticipation, a lot of nerves. And it's like, I get to sit here and talk what I am so passionate about. And I got to sit here and I got to think about what else I can talk about. I got to sit here and I got to be creative and solve puzzles. And 2,000 people roughly are going to watch this, and not this part. They'll click off by the time I'm done talking about home runs. But that is awesome. Like, that is so cool. And I have to keep acknowledging that. And I want to keep acknowledging that until we're at 15K subscribers, 30K subscribers, 50K subscribers, till I croak, till I flat out croak. Love you guys. See you tomorrow.